Good day, students. Welcome to a new class of skill education. Continuing with our syllabus of IT subject 402 code, we are going to do our second unit, which is data entry and keyboarding skills. Our last class we had covered IT enabled services and the different applications of information technology. Now today we are going to start with a new unit, that is keyboard data entry and keyboarding skills. Now what is this? It is very important to understand why we need to have a good keyboarding skills so that we can do our work much more faster on an IT platform. But before that, let us understand what are the different keys that are available on a keyboard and how we can improve the keyboarding skills. Now, keyboard is the most common input device for doing text entry. Now, computer keyboards are similar to the electronic typing keyboards, but they have some certain additional keys which are there. A keyboard generally has more than 100 keys. Each key of the keyboard corresponds to a single symbol. Some symbols require pressing and holding several key combinations simultaneously in a sequence. So basically, when I press a key on a keyboard, that particular symbol or character gets input into the computer system, which is read by the system. Now, what is the important thing is to understand what is something called as touch typing. The typing method of typewriting is a method of typing without using the sense of sight to find the key. There is no need to search for the key while typing, and one has to move one's only the fingers which are needed to strike a key. So in touch typing, the basic method is like that you do not have to actually look at the keyboard while you are typing. The memory, with the help of the hand and your memory, you will be able to identify where the keys on the keyboard are, and you will simply use that and type. Now this is called as touch typing. A touch typist knows the exact location of the key on the keyboard through his muscle memory. Touch typing typically involves placing the 8 fingers in the horizontal row along the middle of the keyboard, that is called as the home row. So here the middle row of the keyboard, that is, when you if you look at the keyboard carefully, you will realize that the middle row of the keyboard, that is the A, S, D, F, G, and from the left hand side you have got the L, K, J, H. This particular row is called as the home row. And when you keep your fingers, middle fingers, that is these fingers, on that particular row and start typing, then automatically, because with practice you will be able to know the exact location of all the keys on the keyboard, and you will be able to type without actually looking at the keys on the keyboard. You don't have to put your eyes on it. By automatic impulse, the your fingers will start moving to the right keys. So this is called as touch typing. Touch typing can be done by 2 hands or even by using single finger hand movement fingers. So this is basically a way of practicing how to do typing. If you will actually start going to a typing classes, typewriting classes, they will start with touch typing. They will start with small alphabets and small sentences, small words actually, and then ultimately it goes on and moves on to larger or longer sentences and paragraphs. So this is called as touch typing. Now how you will how to get a particular control on touch typing is a matter of practice by each and every person. The more you practice doing touch typing, the more familiar you get with the keys of the keyboard, and automatically from memory you will be able to type without looking onto the keyboard. Now there are multiple keys. Let us understand the different keys of the keyboard. The first is the alphanumeric keys, that is alphabetic keys of A to Z, and above that you have got the number keys from 0 to 9 on the keyboard. Along with that we have got the punctuation marks, which is the full stop, comma, semicolon, brackets, parenthesis. Now there is a difference between bracket and parenthesis. Brackets are square brackets, parentheses are called as the curly brackets. Also you have got mathematical operators like the plus, minus, and equal to sign. So these are basically called as the punctuation keys. So you have this. Along with that we have got the alt keys. That is, the alt keys are shortcuts for alternative keys. These are like a second control key. Then we have the arrow keys, which is the up arrow, down arrow, side left arrow, right arrow. All these are used in combination if you want to move up and down on the with the keyboard. Now shift and alt keys are used to move the cursor in more than one position at a time. Now along with that we have the backspace key, which deletes the character to the left of the cursor and moves the cursor to a particular position. You can use the backspace key. The next set of keys are the caps lock key. I need not explain to you much. You know it. It's a toggle key which is used for writing capital alphabets, that is alphabets in uppercase. Next is the control key. The control key is used in conjunction with other keys to produce certain control characters. The meaning of each control character depends on which program you are running. So for example, if you say control X, control V, control C, all this has got different meanings and it is used in combination with particular alphabets. Now delete key. The delete key is used to delete the character at the current position and or to select a particular object and delete it, but does not move the cursor. It just simply deletes it to the right of that particular cursor. For a graphic application, whenever there is any graphic object, then when you just press on the delete key, that particular object gets deleted at the insertion point. So this is the use of the delete key. There is a difference between the delete key and the backspace key. One deletes the characters to the right of the cursor. Backspace key deletes the characters to the left of the cursor. So this way you should be able to understand the difference. Next is the enter key, which is used to move to the cursor to the beginning or to the next line. Everybody knows when you press the enter key, it goes to the next line. The escape key is used to send a special code to the device to exit from the program or the task that you are doing. So what is the use of the escape key? Is to exit from the current task that you are doing. Then there are the function keys, which are from F1 to F12. These have got different meanings in different programs. So based on the program that you are running, the function keys have got different functions to perform. For example, if you are running a PowerPoint presentation, the F5 key is used to actually start the presentation or run the presentation in the presentation mode or the slide mode. The next one is the F1 key. It is used for the help mode. So every program has got a different way in which the function keys work. So basically these are the different keys on the keyboard which can be used for your touch typing. Now along with that, on the right hand side of the keyboard you have got the numeric keypad which contains the numbers, and along with that you also have the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division signs. Now one important thing about this numeric keypad is that it works on a dual mode. On one mode it represents numbers, and on the other mode it contains the arrow keys for page up, page down, etc. So the numlock is provided to switch between the two modes. Usually some of the keyboards or laptops do not even have a keypad, but a standard keyboard has got a numeric keypad. Now this, as I told you, the numeric keypad works on dual mode. So if you want to use either of the modes, you will have to click on the numlock off and on modes. In one mode you can use it as numbers keys, on the other mode you can use it as the arrow keys or the page up, page down keys. So this is the function of the numeric keypad. Now what are the home keys and the guide keys? This is a very important part of a keyboard. Now the alphabets A, S, G on the home key from the left hand side along with semicolon, and the L, K, J from the right hand side. These fingers are trained to make the correct movement of other keys, and each key finger returns immediately to its respective home key after it has depressed the corresponding key in the other rows. So basically when you are doing touch typing, your basic finger movements will always be on the home key. Your fingers will always be placed on the home keys, that is the middle row, which is the A, S, D, F, G and semicolon, and on the right hand side it will be the L, K, J, H. This will be your finger movement. I will not be able to demonstrate to you, but I hope you understand that when you keep your fingers on the middle row of the keyboard, then the corresponding keys below and above will be used this way. That is called as the home key. These are the middle row fingers. How you place it is in this manner on the keyboard. Now the keys, this is called as the home keys, the middle row. Now what are the guide keys on the keyboard? The key J and F, the F on this side and the J on the right hand side are called as the guide keys from the left and the right hand respectively. Both of them contain a small raised tangible mark which helps the touch typist to place their fingers correctly. So when you will look at your keyboard, you will find that the F and the J keys have got a small tangible mark, a small little dash on it. Please go through it and see on every keyboard, the F and the J key are called as the guide keys because they help to the person who is typing or the touch typist to place the fingers correctly on the home keys. So these two fingers will basically be on once you keep all your fingers properly, the two fingers will be on the F and on the J key. So this way, this will be on the F and this will be automatically on the J key. So these are called as the guide keys and the home keys. So I hope you have understood the difference between all of them together are the home keys and the guide keys are the F and the J key. These help the touch typist to basically place for the placement of the fingers. Now, along with the touch typing, there are also the pointing device. So instead of typing, you can directly select an item and the mouse is the most common pointing device. So directly some items can be selected from the computer screen. For example, the print, the close button and any others. So this can be done by using a point and draw device such as a mouse. Now, mouse is a pointing device used to point a particular place on the screen to select and perform one or more actions. It can be used to select menus, commands, resize windows, select actions, screen icons, etc. So primarily, a mouse primarily comprises of 3 buttons and a handling area and a rolling object. So everybody knows how a mouse looks like. So this is the mouse. You have got the 3 keys along with this area is called as the handling area, and here you have got the rolling object, that is the key. So this is the basically how a mouse looks like, and it is called as a pointing device. Now, basic mouse operations. There are a few basic mouse operations which everybody knows, but I still want to explain it to you. The left mouse button click, that is the left click, it is used to select an item. Press down once on the left button with your index finger and a particular object gets selected. Now, double clicking with the same left mouse button is used to start a program or trigger an action. So whenever you want to single click on the left mouse button will be only for selection. Double click with the left mouse button will be for starting a particular action. Right click is used to display a set of commands and available options. So whenever you right click, you get a set of context menu. A small little menu will come that will be displaying a set of commands. So whenever you right click, it will be a shortcut menu or a context menu which comes. Next you can do is a drag and a drop. Now it allows you to select and move any item from one location to another position by holding the object or by holding the left mouse key and moving and dragging the mouse. So this is called as a drag and drop. I'm sure you are all familiar with how to use the drag and the drop. Next is the scrolling. Many applications provide the scroll bar on the right hand side of the screen if the page length is more than the monitor screen length. So instead of using the page up, page down arrow keys up and down, you can just simply use the scroll key on the mouse to scroll up and down. Using the scroll wheel here, the scroll wheel, you can scroll the scroll bar up and down by just simply using the scroll mouse. The scroll wheel on the mouse to move the page to the up and the down. And next is blocking. Blocking means basically selection. So if you want to select a particular block of text, then you simply have to click on the beginning of the word or the sentence, hold the left mouse button and simply drag it along until the entire text is highlighted. At the end, you will simply release the mouse button. So this is called as the blocking. So these are the basic operations which we can perform with the help of a mouse. So left mouse clicking for selection, double clicking for the left mouse for actually starting a particular action, right mouse clicking for the context menu, dragging and dropping for moving particular items here and there, scrolling with the help of which you can move the up and down the application, and also blocking, that means selection of a particular object or a text. So these are the basic operations which we can perform with the help of a mouse. Now Let us understand that now that we have known what is typing and what is a typewriter and what is a keyboard and what is a mouse, let us go on to understanding the typing ergonomics. Now, typing ergonomics provides the basic logistical support for efficient and effective typewriting. They are important to attain and maintain accuracy and speed. So, just by understanding a keyboard or by using a mouse, you cannot actually do typing in the proper way. For maintaining or getting full accuracy and speed, you should be able to understand certain typing ergonomics. First is the sitting position. So while operating a computer keyboard, sit straight, slightly bend your neck forward, touch the lower portion of your back to the lower portion of the backrest, and then your feet should be on the floor. This is the way you have to sit for typing. The position of the hands. Place your forearm at the level of the keyboard and the palms down. Wrist on a straight rest. Keep your wrist straight and your elbows in a natural position, and don't keep your elbows or body too far away from the typing. So this way. So this is the way you have to place your fingers or hands on the keyboard. The monitor placement. Do not bend your neck while working on the monitor. Keep your upper border of your screen at eye level. So your screen level and your upper eyesight should be of the same level. The distance of the screen from the user depends on the size of the screen, but approximately 60 to 65 centimeters or 17 inches screen. So for a 17 inches screen. So if your screen is 17 inches, then your minimum distance should be at least 60 to 65 centimeters. It should not be more or it should not be very less than this particular distance. So this is the way your monitor has to be placed. The upper corner side of your monitor should be almost at your level of your eyesight. So these are the three things, that is the sitting position, the position of your hands, and the monitor placement. The next is the mouse and the keyboard placement. Keep the keyboard and the mouse together with only a distance around 20 centimeters, which will help the smooth operating of the computer, the keyboard and the mouse. So there should be not much of a distance between the two of them, that is the keyboard and the mouse. The chair and the table placement. So adjust the computer chair and the table to an optimum height. The chair of the computer user must be supportive of his lower back. Keyboard and vibrating devices such as the printer should be on a separate table. So these are the rules basically which have been laid down for a proper typing ergonomics. Placement of the matter to be typed. Now whatever matter that you need to be typed should be either on the left or the right side of the keyboard, preferably on a copy holder which has got a sloping surface. So it should be on a sloping surface, somewhere kept like that, sloping, and it should be properly placed either on the left or the right hand side depending upon the typist convenience. So these are some of the typing ergonomics. Here this is a gist or a picture of how exactly a person who is sitting to type, for accurate and efficient typing, he needs to follow these particular rules which I already explained to you. Now, why are we teaching you this typing ergonomics? Because in later on when you start working in a working environment, then you will need to follow this so that you will have good posture and your typing will be more accurate and it will be more, you can efficiently work better on a keyboard. Now, after understanding typing ergonomics, which is the actual placement of the keyboard, the mouse, the chair, the furniture, the printer, etc., we should also be able to understand some successful typing or keyboarding tips. So keyboarding means the actual typing when you do it on your keyboard. What are the tips that you need to follow? This is also very important for accurate typing. So let us look at it one by one. Press the key with a feather touch. Do not push it with undue pressure. So you should not press your keys with too much of pressure. It should be always a feather touch. Otherwise, every alphabet will get typed multiple times. So single press and soft touch. Rest your fingers on the home key while typing. Always make it a habit that you keep your fingers on the home keys. Now you know very well which are the home keys. The middle row is called as the home key. Place your fingers always on the home key and then start typing. We see people just shuffling around like this with one key, one like this, fingers here and there. This is not the right way of typing. Keeping all your fingers on the home key and then typing is the actual right method of typing. Allow your fingers to fall naturally on the key so that each reset on top of the next key along the same horizontal row. Now while typing, release the key immediately as soon as you press it. Holding the key for a long time will repeat the same type of characters again. So this is what I already told you, that do not keep the key pressed for a long time, or do not do a hard pressing of the key. Do not look at the keyboard while typing, or while practicing. Do not press the key at equal intervals of time in a rhythm. Press the key only with the finger allotted for the particular key. Try to see to it that you practice touch typing, so that only the key which is particularly assigned for that you will press with that. As you keep on practicing touch typing, it will become much more easier and faster for you. While pressing a key, slowly pronounce the character on the key. Do not take any mental stress while typing. Secure the typing ergonomics properly. Maintain patience if you commit mistakes at the initial stages. Maintain a balance between the speed and accuracy, as both are equally important. Do not sacrifice accuracy for speed. The next is to maintain mastery of the computer keyboard. Undertake repeated practices of typing words, sentences, passages and figures without looking at the keyboard. So basically these are some of the typing tips which you need to follow when you start doing touch typing. So like as I already told you, some tricks, some typing ergonomics need to be followed, and at the same time these keyboarding tips need to be followed for you to attain accuracy as well as speed. Now if you try to type very fast, you try to improve your speed, which is actually calculated in words per second, characters per second, etc., you will tend to make more mistakes. So you have to try to balance the two, that is accuracy as well as speed, and ultimately you will get perfect control of the keyboard, and you will be able to type very quickly without making any mistakes. So these are the tips which you need to follow. Now these are this is your PDF note. I have just come to this PDF note, and here I would like to show you how the typing speed is calculated. So what are the methods of typing speed calculation? So here you have got the words per minute, characters per minute, and the keyboard strokes per minute. That is the way we can calculate the speed of typing. So words per minute, that is WPM, is the number of words typed in 1 minute or a period of time. Next words per minute is the words per minute without words with error. So totally if I have typed some particular number of words, then and I have made around 20 errors in that, then the words per minute minus the error in the given time would be a net words per minute. Similarly, the number of characters typed in 1 minute or a period of time minus the net CPM will be the characters per minute without the characters with mistakes. Similarly, KPM means the number of keystrokes in 1 minute period of time, and the net KPM would be the keystrokes per minute without the keystrokes with error. So basically this is the way we calculate the speed. So like here a student types 240 characters per 2 minutes with errors of 20 characters. So how will you calculate the speed? The simple speed is equal to 240 characters for 2 minutes. That is equal to 120 characters per minute, and the net speed will be 120 characters, that is the 20 errors that they have done along with the in the same minute, that is equal to 100. So this way the calculation is done to assess the speed of a student. Now the typing accuracy is how much accurate words per are typed. So accuracy is in words, in characters and in keystrokes. Again, there are certain formulas which are followed, according to which the accuracy and speed, or accuracy is also calculated 100% minus the words in error will be the total number of words, accurate words. Similarly for characters, and similarly for the keyword strokes. Now typing rhythm. Again, there is a method of calculating. There is a formula which is done for calculating your actual typing rhythm in words, characters and keystrokes. Now this is the way basically how a particular typing overall rate calculation. So all this is very important when you, so a good typing speed is an average professional typing speed usually types from 50 to 80 words per minute, while in some positions it requires 80 to 95% speed, and this is considered an average. Advanced typing work and a speed level of 120 words per minute is considered to be exceptionally good typing speed. So the typing speed on alphanumeric keyboard is 216 words per minute, which was achieved by a particular person in 1946. So this is basically a good typing speed. Now here, in our regular course of time, if we had a regular school, we would have given you a particular package called as typing tutor, which you will download, and we would have asked you to practice this particular typing test with different ways, the way in which it is given here in the textbook. Unfortunately, here this is exactly the way a typing tutor works. It will ask you to different lessons are there, and you can simply download this typing tutor, and you could practice the way, and your accuracy, speed, all would be actually calculated and shown to you on a screen, so that you know exactly how and whether you are accurate, how much is your speed, how much is your accuracy. All that could be automatically calculated using the formulas which I already showed to you. Now unfortunately, we are not in a situation where we can do this typing and give practical classes for you. So if possible, please try to download typing tutor and try to practice touch typing if it is possible on your computer or on the keyboard, and try to gain mastery over touch typing. So once we resume back, hopefully if it is possible, we will be able to give you some practice on touch typing or typing tutor software. So until that time, if you can try downloading this particular software, and you can try doing touch typing on your own. So with this, we come to the end of this unit of data entry and keyboarding skills. And I hope you have understood the need for using keyboard, and understanding the keyboarding tricks and the typing ergonomics. Thank you.